Welcome to the Women in AV podcast. My name is Erica Carroll. I am your host for this show, and a huge thank you to Midwich Group for allowing us to record live from InfoComm in their amazing podcasting studio. With me today are two amazing women in AV. First, Brittany DiCesare. Hi, Brittany. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah.
And we have Lindsey with us as well. It's
Mosby.
Mosby. I wanted to say Mosby.
No, you're good. You're good. Everyone does that. It's totally okay.
Yeah. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you know, this podcast is a resource for women all over the world just to know how to get into AV and learning our stories and sharing how you have traversed the industry, how you got into it, where you are now, and what that path has looked like. So I want to start with you, Lindsey. How did you get into AV?
Sure. So I'm actually pretty new into the industry. I graduated college in 2021. I double majored actually not in engineering. So I went to school for international business and supply chain management, and then later got a certificate from Harvard in negotiation. And then from there, I ended up working in Hawaii with Ford Audio Video as a project manager, which, you know, was just a natural segue from supply chain management. And then I just never left. I fell in love with AV, and I don't plan on going anywhere.
Hawaii, that's so cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was absolutely amazing. But I'm in Miami now, so happy to be home.
Yeah.
The other tropical environment.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Brittany, I know that you've been around in the industry for a while. You've told your story multiple times, but just as a reminder,
yeah, of course.
How did you get in?
Yeah, I knew about AV just growing up in church and helping with my house of worship and running their sound. And I actually got a vocal performance degree and then decided I hate performing. So my avenue into the industry full-time was actually through AVI-SPL, which is where I got to meet you, Erica.
Yeah.
And I actually got to work with our Women's Council and run member programs at AVI-SPL. So I was on a different side of the trade show and helping to put it all together. And so I actually was there for a few years and then moved on and found my home at Control Concepts. So now I get to attend and help our manufacturers. So it's really great.
It's actually really cool to see how multiple people find their way into AV, because I know a few people from AVI-SPL have made that hop. They did the trade show thing. They were in that sort of organizational structure, and then were given an opportunity to stay in AV.
Yeah.
That's so much fun.
I think it's a great way to kind of find your footing and figure out. I learned a lot about the industry that I didn't know. You know, I knew about projectors and mics and load-ins and load-outs from doing it for church, but there's so much more to all of this. And so I got to learn that out of AVI-SPL and then figure out where I wanted to sit within it.
That's awesome. So what do you do now with Control Concepts?
Yeah, so we are a software development company for the industry. So we actually specialize in control modules, drivers, and plugins. So think Crestron, QSys, AMX Extron. We write those for manufacturers. So manufacturers have their API. That's a great launching point, but most of the time integrators and programmers need a little bit more to be able to work with and make it easier to make those connections. So we write all of that.
That's awesome. And what do you do specifically?
I don't do any of that. So I actually oversee our sales and operations for the company. So I get to build those partnerships and then translate what their needs are over to our tech and chat with our developers and really help them get to where we need them to be. So
that's awesome. And similarly, Lindsey, you actually just were onboarded at AVI-SPL, and you're now in Miami. So what do you do?
Sure. So I ended up back in Hawaii doing quite a bit of bid administration and account management. I got extremely lucky in the sense that I worked with what is now a Security Industry Association Hall of Famer, Christine Lanning.
Okay.
So she was my, I would say she was my mentor, extreme powerhouse, wonderful lady, taught me everything there was to know about getting contracts and client relations and making sure everything is just prim and proper. And so I ended up segueing back into account management / somewhat a little bit of bid administration, proposal making, and then here I am now at AVI-SPL still
Yeah.
doing what I love and making
Yeah.
sure clients are taken care of and their projects get started and executed perfectly.
Yeah. So you mentioned mentorship, and that's something that we obviously talk a lot about. And how do we bring, rising tides raise all boats. So, what has that looked like for you throughout your career, and how did that get you to where you are now?
Oh, absolutely. I would say that even before I graduated college, I had an amazing mentor. I previously lived in Germany, and she helped me get through college. She was like having a mom out there. And then I'd have to say that my next biggest mentor was Christine back in Hawaii. She owned Integrated Security Technologies, and I'm so happy to say that she did end up becoming a Hall of Famer for security industry the year that I was there. So
that's awesome.
It was so cool letting, just kind of seeing her accept the award. And we also won Medium-Sized Integrator of the Year that year. So getting to see a bird's eye view of business operations from the CEO's perspective, and especially a strong, powerful woman like Christine, it changed me forever. It really helps you dream bigger and makes there's an endless array of possibilities for you, even as a woman in the industry.
Absolutely.
So.
And Brittany, at Control Concepts, on that operations and management side, how do you implement mentorship within your own organization?
So I'm actually really lucky we're a smaller team right now, and we actually have someone who's new in leadership and management that I've really had the opportunity to kind of take under my wing and really see her flourish. And it's so fun on this side. I've had so many mentors, and now to have the opportunity to mentor myself, it's such a great perspective change to see what you saw as potential now coming to fruition in someone, and seeing them become more confident in their abilities. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's probably one of the biggest honors of my career to date.
Yeah. It sounds like something that you've been passionate about for a long time. Is there anything else that you're passionate about?
I'm passionate about so many
things.
For me, being a woman in this industry, it's challenging, but it's not impossible. And for me, the important thing is for us all to come around each other and support each other. And a lot of times it's hard. There's sometimes this culture of you have to kind of strive your way to the top, and if you are there with other women, there's a problem because you have to make yourself stand out. And that is the wrong perspective to have.
Yeah.
Like, we can all do this together. We can support each other. We can bring each other along. And for me, I don't want women coming into the industry having to go through the same hurdles and struggles that I did. I want them to be well ahead of that, because instead of there being this massive ladder they have to climb, we've paved the way and we've made it so much smoother for them. And I think that is so much more important. It's a community and it's a family here. And that's what I have always found with the women I've been able to get to know in the industry, is we all want to see each other succeed.
We absolutely do. Yeah. Do you have any other passions as well, Lindsay, or has that sparked any thoughts for you?
Gosh, it's a loaded question.
I feel like you have a passion for travel too, though.
I do.
I like Hawaii, Miami,
Germany.
Yeah, I lived in Europe for a few years, and also Hawaii. But I'd say that outside of AV, which I absolutely adore, looking at all of the technology, I consider that a passion and a hobby as well.
Yeah.
But I like to write. I'm actually working on a children's book right now.
Really?
It's just, fun stuff to do. So
That is so awesome. I want to talk to you later about that too, because that's like a secret passion of mine. I want to write a children's book, and my brother is actually an amazing illustrator.
Oh, wow, perfect.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, look at the connection that just happened here. That's so awesome.
That would be amazing. It reminds me, because there's at CEDIA 2 years ago, they had somebody come and talk about a book that they were distributing for construction specifically, and it was a children's book called The House That She Built, and every person on that team, the architect, the electrician, like general contractor, everybody was a woman, and they talked about all of the job roles that were available.
Ooh.
And it was based on a true story. There was a house that was built by all women on the entire team, and I would love to do something like that for AV. That would be
so cool.
so cool,
Yeah.
right?
Well, if you need help,
Yeah.
we'd love to help.
Yeah.
Just let us know.
I'm not an artist and
do
I'm
it.
not a writer, but
No,
I'll
but-
figure out
But
something.
we know all the
Yeah,
people.
absolutely.
Like, we can bring it together. That's amazing. So, talking about your writing, is there anything that you're reading or listening to or have learned recently that is worth sharing?
Gosh, I would say that I hate to say this, but I am a big proponent of professional development books. I love them.
Oh, me too.
I have a really. I'm so bad.
Yeah.
Don't hate to say
I
that.
feel
That's
that.
excellent. We need that.
I feel like we need a book club for that. I
Yes.
follow James King. Every time I see him,
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you reading?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
hard time reading purely for pleasure.
I do
so
too.
it makes me feel like I'm being productive
Yeah.
at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I'd say that two really good ones for two very separate reasons. A recent read I did was Energy Bus. Not sure if you've read that one, but
No.
it's very odd. It's very odd. It's like it's a story where there's like a bus driver with this infectious energy, and she I don't know how to explain it, but she just elevates everybody around her, and
love that.
it inspires someone who's working like a corporate job.
Yeah.
And then for a very different reason, Play Like a Man, Win Like a Woman by Gail Evans is an amazing read.
Okay.
Especially if you're trying to navigate an industry like this one very
Yeah.
early on.
Yeah.
Have you read
Yeah.
that
I
before?
haven't read it, but I love the title. It's going
Yeah,
on the list.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's amazing, and she dabbles in all the topics that need to be dabbled
Yeah.
in, that everyone's afraid to talk about.
Yes.
So
Amazing.
amazing read.
Cool.
Wow.
Brittany, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm actually reading, it's a book called Leading on Empty. And it's a little more on the religious side, but learning how to be able to keep going when you feel depleted, and ways that you can kind of help to recharge and refill yourself so that
Yeah.
you can continue to give to others.
That's awesome. Yeah. So throwing into this recommendation,
Yes.
I'm going back to a book. I've actually read it multiple times in the past, but it's called For God's Sakes, Lead. And it's also a little bit religious, but it's a parable, and it's about a janitor at a school who's helping a coach become more empathetic and understand his team better to connect with them. It's awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a reread.
Oh my gosh, I've got
For me.
so many.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we have a tradition on this podcast where the previous guest leaves a question for the next guest, not knowing who that's going to be. So I will ask this question to both of you because it is applicable. And this question comes from Michelle Lorette. What is something about you that most people don't know about you? I'll start with you, Brittany, because you're laughing.
Because Steve and I have this conversation a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
this question is actually Steve and I do a class on personality types and how to communicate across different personalities.
Yeah.
This question is like one that most people of my personality type hate because they don't like to brag on themselves.
Yeah.
So it's every time that question comes up, I'm like, don't ask me that, don't ask me that. But Michelle is fantastic, so of course she would have a question like that. So for me, I actually am a worship leader, and
Really?
I have worked in church full-time and part-time doing that, getting back into doing that on a volunteer side. I love it, and it's so unlike my personality. I'm very introverted. I don't like being in front of people, hence not following through with my vocal performance degree and actually doing something with that. But to take that into the church is a huge passion of mine, and it's so funny because I'm super shy, but it's a completely different avenue where I get to do a little bit of what I love. So
That is so fun.
yeah.
I love that so much. Lindsay, same question.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. I love that you're a worship leader, though.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
I've been, I go to church as well, and I used to be a camp counselor. I'll say that's something, I guess, that, that I could stay on here.
Yeah.
I definitely have like a soft spot for that. So whenever I can volunteer with kids, I always do.
What's your preferred age group?
Gosh, that's a loaded one. So I really love teenagers, and I really love like 8 to 11 because they're starting to get sentient.
Yeah. Yes.
And they're very receptive as well.
Yes, so I have an 11-year-old myself who's going into middle school. Oh my gosh. But I ask you that question because my husband was a youth pastor, and middle school is such a hard age, but it's the age group he loved working with. And so most who are going into youth and youth ministry are like, give me all the high schoolers. They're like manageable and cool, but no, he's all about give me all of the poor kids going through puberty. Let's all talk about it. Let's give me all the stinky ones, all the fun energy ones. Let's figure all that out together. But that's so cool. I love that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
That's awesome. It's my favorite thing to do. I did it not too long ago, actually. I did the Society of American Military Engineers STEM camp out on the North Shore. So.
Oh my gosh, I know.
That was in February. So I love doing that. It's so fun, but you don't get to do that too often, especially when you're working full time and trying to absolutely scorch the earth as much as possible with everything. So
that's phenomenal. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And thank your next Rosie Riveters.
Oh, I know, for real.
Hello, right here. Massive sign right there for
yes, absolutely. And I don't know if you know, I told her this morning, so we are live at InfoComm. And the Brad Sousa Foundation, or the Brad Sousa Fund from the AVI-SPL Foundation was awarding grants, and yesterday we were awarded a grant from the Brad Sousa Fund for Rosie Riveters. Yes, so we're able to re-engage with all the students that we've been able to for the last 3 years and deliver STEM kits to all of Aurora County Public Schools.
That is wonderful.
For every fourth grader in Aurora County Public Schools had a STEM kit with AV written all over it, and got to see sound meters last year, and we get to do it all over again this year. So
look at you changing the industry.
Yes,
it's amazing.
Fantastic.
We're trying, right? This is a long-term goal. This is not like tomorrow's pros, but like in 10 years, 15 years, we're gonna have some AV pros coming in because of STEM kits. So
all because of Rosie Riveters. And you guys really.
Yeah, it's a village though.
Grind.
It's a huge effort.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you both for joining me today. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay, where can people find you on the internet or in general?
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn. I'm Lindsey Marie Mosby with AVI-SPL. So
awesome.
I'd love to connect.
Yeah, so go find Lindsay. And Brittany, how can people find you?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn at Britt Dice, and you can find me there, and you can learn more about our company, controlconcepts.net.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you can find me at all the social places at the Erica Carroll. And I'd also like to thank AVNation. You can find any of our other partner sister shows on AVNation.tv, like AV Control Mastermind or
State of Control.
State of Control with Steve Greenblatt.
Steve Greenblatt. He's our president and founder of Control Concepts, so he actually does that, and we talk all about that. So.
Yep, absolutely. And you can find all of that at AVNation.tv.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.